You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
Hey there, my name is Alex Pardo. I want to welcome you to episode 631 here on the Flip Empire Show. I want to first go ahead and share with you, I just got back from Nashville, Tennessee to Nashville just this year alone. I was at an event and I want to give a shout out to my friend Keith Blackborg for putting on an incredible event, he and his team with Financial Journey. I had quite a few people reach out to me on social media asking me where I was and why I was there. And Keith has a fantastic community with Financial Journey where he just does an awesome job of putting together in a room a bunch of 7 and 8 figure earners, entrepreneurs, and brings some really cool, attractive and boring, non-attractive, but high upside investment opportunities to this community. And I've been a part of this for about a year and a half and have made some great connections. So on today's episode, I thought I would share with you the 4 C's that I always look to check off whenever I'm attending any type of event. I'm going to talk to you about the 5 most important questions you want to ask yourself when evaluating a deal, when evaluating an investment opportunity. And by the way, I'm not just talking about real estate here. I'm talking about any investment opportunity. I got exposed to crypto funds and crypto bots, and I got exposed to companies that were, offering different types of returns that were outside of real estate. And so I want to share with you that. And I also want to share with you a 4-step powerful action planner, a process you can ask yourself and go through to follow through on anything it is you want to accomplish. So I'm going to cover a variety of topics on today's podcast episode. And depending on how long this goes, I may or may not elaborate on an upcoming episode. Also want to let you know if I'm actually taking off to Punta Cana tomorrow for our Ascend Mastermind retreat. So keep an eye out on social media. Let's make sure we're connected. And then upcoming episodes over the course of the next week or two, I'm sure I'll be able to share some valuable nuggets and insight from our retreat. And I've had quite a few of you connect with me about that. At the moment, we actually do have a few seats open. So if you want to connect with myself and Steve about our Ascend family and our community, ascendyoursuccess.com is how you can do that. Well, so with that being said, I want to go ahead and just start off with the 4 C's. And these are things, this is a filter I run through whenever I'm considering going to an event, joining a mastermind community, getting involved with some type of community, a group of people that we can help elevate our mindset, our success, our results. And you can apply this to anything. You're considering going to a seminar, you're considering hiring a coach, you're considering joining a mastermind community. These are the things I look for. Number 1, community. And these are the 4 C's. What type of community has the leader, the organizer curated? Do they vet the people that are coming in, or is this just a free-for-all? Anybody that can make an investment is able to join. So what type of community do they have? Do they have a community of chest beaters and it's high egos and it's sharing surface level, but not willing to be very vulnerable, transparent, and going deep? By the way, this is one of the core values of Ascend is we look for people that are going to be very open and transparent, people that have achieved a certain level of success, but realize that it's more to it than just ROI. It's more to it than dollars and cents. Success is not just measured by how much money you have or how much wealth you're able to accumulate, but success is more holistic, right? So I look for community. Is it worth my time, energy, money, and sacrifice to take some time away from my family and go be a part of an event or be a part of a group if there's no community? And if it's a community of people that are going to lift me up and pour into me, and that vice versa, I can lift them up and pour into them. So I look for community, number 1. Number 2, it's a mindset of connection. Right? I am looking there to connect with the right kinds of people. And I'm not necessarily looking to connect with everyone. I'm not looking to go surface level with relationships. I'm looking to go an inch wide and a mile deep with the right relationships. The older I get, the more I realize that you have a core group of people around you and you want to continue to expand your network, but you want to do it with having the mindset of who I'm looking to connect with, that A, can help me on where I'm at right now in my journey, and B, who that I can contribute to as well. In fact, I would flip those. I would say, A, who can I help contribute? And you're going to hear that's teaser. That's one of the 4 C's. Who can I contribute to? How can I be a resource? How can I be of value to this person, to this community? So I look for connection, right? With the right people. Number three, you just heard me talk about it. It's contribution. You don't want to go to an event, join only looking to extract. I can tell you, if you go with that mindset, you're leaving the juice out of the relationship. The juice in the relationships that matter is when you're able to contribute. I can't tell you selfishly how satisfying and rewarding it is to know that you've had a contribution. You've been able to contribute to someone's life and business. In fact, at this event in Nashville, I had a handful of people reach out to me and just give me respect, admiration. I don't know what you want to call it for this podcast, for the Flip Empire show. And I had quite a few people just reach out to me and say, hey, thank you for the podcast or for this episode. Or I heard, I've been hearing about this and I finally decided to tune in, and now I'm 7-8 episodes deep and start actually talking to me about specific episodes and content that I've shared. I had quite a few people just blown away by the fact that we just crossed over the 6-year anniversary of this podcast. Ask me, how did you stay consistent doing 2 episodes a week? And it's just, it was really humbling. It was really humbling. I record these most of the time from my home office. And while I know, because I see the numbers, I know the growth of the unique downloads month over month. And I see where we started to where we are now. But it takes it to another level when you actually have people reflect back to you the appreciation they have. And so contribution, that's one of the main drivers of this podcast. It's a contribution piece for me. And then last, but certainly not least, is collaboration. If you're mindful about the connections you want to have with the right kind of people, look to serve, and then also seek for collaborative opportunities. One of the principles that I've lived by for many, many years is seek to give and contribute first, but then realize that you have to be open to receiving as well. Closed mouths don't get fed is a quote that I've shared with a lot of family and friends throughout the years. Another very common quote along those same lines is the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And what I mean by that is you have to be willing to open your mouth and share with people what your needs are, what you're looking for, what your goals and vision are, and look for collaborative opportunities. At this event, there was a section called Ask Give, which Steve and I have actually talked. We're going to be implementing within our Ascend mastermind calls and our upcoming retreats. They call it Ask Give, but we're going to flip it around and do Give Ask, where you get super clear on what you have to give, what you have to back to contribution. There's that C again. And you publicly share with people, hey, here are my strengths. Here's my unique ability. Here's my talent. Here's what I'm able to give you, and encourage people to approach you about that. And then here's my ask. So at the end of this event, it was kind of an open mic. There was probably 75, 80 people in the room. And again, high net worth, high income earners were in this room, a variety of people, not just in real estate, but different businesses. And so I hopped on the mic and just, kind of shared with them, hey, I suck at a lot of things, but I'm good at these things. And here's where I can help. Here's where I can contribute to you. And I encourage you, reach out to me, pull me aside, let me know if I can contribute in any one of these ways. I'm happy to do so. And then, by the way, here's my ask. And I talked about that we're actively looking for our next storage opportunity. And we've come across quite a few deals that we may or may not decide to move forward on. There's been a couple that have gotten really close, and I'm looking for the right strategic partners, whether that's debt or equity. And then I'm also looking for storage opportunities in addition to our own acquisition and marketing efforts. If you come across an opportunity that potentially you need some help underwriting or talking through if this is a deal, happy to do so, whether I'm considered as a potential partner or not. And I had quite a few people reach out to me after the fact and said, hey, I want to get put on your list. I have X amount of dollars I'm looking to put into the right opportunity. What does that look like? And so it opened up doors. The fact that I wanted to put myself out there, hop behind the mic and just share, hey, here's what I can give, number one. And then two, here's my ask. Having humility to say, hey, this is a challenge or this is an ask, and putting yourself out there has now planted seeds with several people in the room, and it's opened up a lot of doors and opportunities. So I really want to encourage you to have the mindset and the heart of a giver, but then it's a two-way equation. Imagine if you were willing to give, but that person wasn't willing to receive. So be very open to receiving. That's a key part of the equation as well. And don't be too proud to ask, whether it's ask for help or ask for somebody to keep you in mind. And what I've noticed is that when you lead with a place of giving first, people want to help. That's one of the common characteristics of wealthy or successful people, is that they genuinely want to help people. By and large, I can tell you, being in a room filled with people that, again, just high net worth people, most of them want to give. They want to help. Success can be lonely at the top. And so it's just something I've noticed time and time and again. So now that I've shared that with you, I'm actually thinking, I want to share with you, and again, I want to give credit to Keith Blackborg and the Financial Journey community, because one of the things that they do at these events is share different investment opportunities, both in and outside of real estate. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave you with the 5 questions that you want to ask yourself whenever you're evaluating any investment opportunity. And then the powerful 4-step action planner, I'm actually going to leave that for episode 632. So I want to tease you and understand that this is a framework that you can use regardless of what you want in your life or personal, whether it's your personal life or whether it's business. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that for episode 632. But here are the 5 questions. And maybe what I'll do is I can elaborate further on this on the next episode, but just 5 questions I want to leave you with. And this is simple questions that you can ask yourself whenever you're evaluating any type of investment opportunity. Number 1, does this investment make business sense? Does this investment make business sense? And you can choose to answer this very simplistically, or you can choose to elaborate and it might really help you flesh out your thoughts. So does this investment make business sense? One of the things I realize is I like to invest in things that I can understand. Number 1, where I trust the operator. They have a proven track record and I know that they operate with integrity. So vetting the operator before I even vet the opportunity. Because no matter how great the opportunity is, if the operator doesn't come from a place of integrity and honesty, doesn't have a track record, it doesn't matter what kind of returns they're potentially, sharing or boasting about. So number 1, I always underwrite the operator. Then I look at, does this even make business sense? So I'll kind of do a 1A and a 1B there. Number 2, how can I lose money with this investment? I'll give you an example. When I'm looking at storage deals, I'm trying to kill the deal. Okay, let me repeat that. I'm trying to shoot down reasons why this deal makes sense. I'm not trying to fit a square into a circle and trying to make a deal work. In fact, that's the worst thing you can do. I'm looking at it in the reverse. I'm trying to say, hey, why doesn't this deal make sense? Where can I lose money with this deal? And if I try to shoot holes in this thing and I can't, then I know it's worth pursuing. All right. And you can apply that line of thinking, that framework to really any investment, storage or otherwise. Number 3, what's the competitive advantage? Right? What's the competitive advantage? Either it's the business model, the team, the technology they have, maybe it's the market they're in. What is the competitive advantage? Number 4, how favorable is the risk to reward ratio? In other words, the likelihood of reward versus the risk of loss. Understand we all have different levels of risk. Some are very risk tolerant, others are very risk averse. It could be the stage of your life right now. I connected with quite a few people that were in their 50s and 60s, and they're much more risk averse because they don't want to start from ground zero. Then again, I talked to a dude who is just a multimillionaire. He got into crypto very early on in the process. And that dude's willing to take more risk. And so understand where you're at based on your goals, based on where you're at in your life. And then always consider that risk to reward ratio. Okay. And then last but not least, number 5, how does this investment fit me, my strategy, and my portfolio? Does it make sense? My wife and I were watching Shark Tank last night, and all roads lead to Mr. Wonderful, right? All the other sharks were out and it was down to Kevin O'Leary. And if you've watched the show, you know what I mean, where he goes, all roads lead to Mr. Wonderful. And then he will typically mention, hey, this fits into my portfolio. I understand this business very well. I have XYZ. And he goes on bragging about all the different deals he has. And he was considering he was going to make an offer, and he loves the royalty offer. So he made a royalty offer on one particular business that complemented some others that he was in. And so that fit his strategy, that fit his portfolio. So consider diversification relative to, does it fit your strategy? Is it something you understand? Is it something that maybe there's a compelling reason you want to get behind? Maybe there's a bigger why. That's always good. So those are the things I want to leave you with. Again, just as a recap, does the investment make business sense? How can I lose money with this investment? What's the competitive advantage? How favorable is the risk to reward ratio? And then last but not least, how does this investment fit me, my strategy, and my portfolio? So hopefully you got a lot of value out of this episode. If you are interested in connecting with Keith about his community, I'm happy to connect you guys. Or if you just want to reach out to him, let him know that you heard about it on the podcast. I would greatly appreciate that. I don't get anything out of it. Keith's a good dude, and I just wanted to share that. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving me, the most valuable asset you have, which is your time. Hopefully over deliver for you here, and that you can just take one or two nuggets and apply it to your life and business so that you can continue to ascend. So with that being said, so appreciate you. Be on the lookout for upcoming episodes, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great one, my friend. Hope you enjoyed that episode. But before you go, I've had a lot of people recently reach out to me wanting to learn more about Ascend, wanting to understand how the mastermind component works, how the coaching relationship works. And so right now we're actually on a waiting list. But what I would encourage you to do is, if you think you're the right fit and you think you could benefit from being a part of our community, head over to ascendyoursuccess.com, watch the short video, and then just click the apply to join button below. And then we'll be in contact with you if and when a spot opens up. So really appreciate you listening to Flip Empire here, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next show. Take care.